What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. More drug talk. That's right. I figure if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And I'm going to get this shit up there because one question leads to another. One thing leads to another. Blasting and cruising cycles. Okay, blasting and cruising. I will go ahead and I will systematically just break down why blasting and cruising is superior to running steroid cycles where you come completely off for the long term. Again, this is for just informational entertainment purposes only. I do not recommend, not recommend breaking the law by using illegal steroids. And if you do use them, be sure they're prescribed by your doctor for medical TRT treatment. Okay, that is my recommendation, but people keep asking blasting and cruising versus obviously staying, coming off. Now, a blast and cruise cycle would mean, for example, now again, there's so many ways to formulate these, so many ways to situate them. I'm just going to give an example, and it's not a recommendation. Nothing I'm saying here is a recommendation. Let me put it that way. Let's say you go 12 weeks of TRT, okay, where you're running whatever your doctor prescribes, which is, let's say, 100 to 200 milligrams a week of testosterone cypionate. You run that for 12 weeks. At week 13, you spike it, and for 6 weeks, you run 500 milligrams of testosterone with 400 milligrams of DECA and whatever, some tren and some anti-estrogens, whatever. So essentially, you're going through what your body normally would do, which is TRT. TRT is meant to bring your body up to where it should naturally be, right? Now, what blasting does, it includes being a steroid user into a TRT regimen, because TRT's job isn't to get you to super physiological levels when done on the medical side. TRT's job is to make you normal. It's like when people give, when people have mental imbalances, you'll give them Prozac and this and that. It's not to make them super smart, it's to make them function normal in society. What TRT does, it makes your hormones normal, except instead of your body producing them, your body can no longer sufficiently produce them. So you exogenously, which is from the outside, introduce that lacking hormone. People with thyroid issues take thyroid medicine for it. And likewise, people with testosterone issues will take testosterone for it. Obviously, there's no TRT deficit in trenbolone. No, I can't make a TRT case for tren. That would simply be used in a blast. Normally, what's recommended, what's prescribed for TRT is a lot of times they use the gel. I don't like the gel. One, it's not as well absorbed as the injection. Two, is it rubs off on shit. I don't want half of my shit going on my clothes, and I don't want the other half going on my kids or my wife. That's just some shit right there, right? I don't need my daughter having any testosterone. Even a minute amount introduced to her. I don't like the cream. So if you're going on TRT, your doctor prescribes you the fucking lotion or whatever, the cream, either get him to do the injection or find a new doctor. That's my opinion. So that's cruising and blasting. Now, with cycling hormones, you go on cycle, let's say for 12 to 20 weeks. And after that, or during, there's a couple ways to do it. During, you take your HCG, which keeps your balls moving. And then post-cycle, you get on a Novadex or whatever else these kids are using nowadays. Back in my day, it was 4 weeks, I believe, 25 milligrams Novadex. Back when I first started learning about PCT. Nova was the preferred PCT of choice back where I am from. Again, it varies by region and it varies by time. This is back in the early 2000s. Now, another way to do it is the massive overdose of HCG, where I believe it's like 250 or 500 milligrams twice a week. And that's one way of doing it. Now, what I've read from research is the best way to do HCG if you plan on coming off is during cycle and then run an anti-estrogen post. But again, that's not something I'm well versed in, nor something I wish to explain on camera in this video. The reason I feel that the first method, which is blasting and cruising, is superior is when you come off of steroids. I don't care who you are. I don't care what HCG dose you have. I don't care what you have going on for you on the anti-estrogen side, but you're going to have a negative dip in testosterone. In fact, if you want HRT, go on cycle and come off and then get your shit tested. You'll be low. I don't care what you're on, you're going to be low. Now, what you guys got to realize is when you come off of steroids, when you come off of exogenous hormones, we saw a lot of this with guys who were on the pro hormones, at least anecdotally, empirically for me, get depressed post-cycle. And there's a lot of shit that goes on when your estrogen's all over the place, your testosterone's all over the place. You're going to go mental. Your mental hormones, your melatonin, your serotonin, all that shit in layman's terms, not to be scientific, gets thrown off. So you're going to be depressed, you're going to be functioning suboptimally, and your dick might not work. Now, with TRT, essentially what you're doing is you're doing this. You're here, and then you blast. You're here, and then you're right back. Here's what you're doing if you're on cycle, okay? If you do a cycle. You're here, you blast, you go way down fucking here. And then hopefully you slowly climb back up. By this time, in my experience of dealing with people and watching people simply at my gym, you have lost all your fucking gains that you obtained during your cycle. Whereas I know people on HRT or TRT who blast and cruise, and you cannot tell they're blasting or cruising because what the cruise does is it's allowing your body to not be super physiological in testosterone, maybe slightly super physiological, but it's allowing you to be at least optimal with testosterone. So instead of getting that deleterious dip where you're taking anti-use, your estrogen's all low, okay? Your testosterone's dipped, you're not coming back. And also here's another problem. I know so many people whose shit never comes back. I don't know if there's data behind this, but I know guys who take over a year to get their normal testosterone levels back. The body normally will recover. Anti-estrogen or not, the body will normally recover. HCG or not, the body will normally recover. The body just takes a really long time. And what PCT does is it forces the body to recover faster. We are using women pregnancy drugs. Clomit's prescribed to women trying to get pregnant. HCG is the pregnancy hormone. We are fucking with shit. That's why I recommend staying natural, just being real here. It's too much work to be on steroids. It's less work to just make gains slow and natty. Trust me, watch your diet, watch your training, because here's the deal, man. Think about all this shit. This is a fucking 10-minute video that should have taken 2. Because first I had to explain what blasting and cruising was. Then I had to explain what fucking cycling was. Then I had to explain why I like blasting and cruising better. The reason being I believe it maintains a more favorable level of hormonal performance. And also I look at it like yo-yo dieting. It's more unhealthy to go up and weight, down and weight, up and weight, down and weight. Like every fucking person I know, and that's people ask, why don't you bulk? Like, because why would I get up to 300 pounds? I'm not going to gain that much more muscle. And even if I do, I don't want to shorten my life even more than shortened by being this fucking muscular and big. My heart has a lot of shit to pump blood to. I understand being this big, whether it's fat or muscle, it's still shit my knees heart where my heart rates do. I am cutting years off my life by being this big, whether I'm natural or not natural, whether I'm muscular or fat. Being this big, I understand, is not the healthiest predicament, but I like being this big and I can move and play with my kids and my quality of life is extremely high. So I look at it like yo-yo dieting. I would rather maintain this spike and this than go this spike, holy fuck, and this. It's like a really bad fucking roller coaster, the kind you throw up on. And you're like, why the fuck did I go on that roller coaster? You know, that's what it's like. So my whole thing to you guys is, unless you have a medical condition, again, and it's something to discuss with your doctor, and if you have a doctor who's hip to what you do, if you're going on cycle, please discuss it with him. Let him know. I know a lot of guys whose doctors know when they're going off the script, you know? And if you're doing a self-prescribed blast and cruise, just know that it's illegal in most countries and that you're taking your own risks. Just know the risks and know what you need to do and make sure whatever you're doing, nothing works unless you do. So make sure your diet and training are in check. Okay? Those are 2 things I really, really, really recommend. People ask about health supplements went on. Look, I'm not recommending anything going on, but I'll say that there's two things I will never, ever go a day without, and that's whether natural or not natural, and that's AI Sports Cycle Support. I really like that. And MTS Nutrition Machine Greens plus multi. I just feel overall health spectrum and a good fish oil. I have Ethitech fish oil. Those are three things I always recommend, whether you're juicing or not, but especially when you're juicing. I'm not talking about Jack LaLanne type shit. I'm talking about putting a needle in your ass and injecting steroids in it. I'm Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, representing the machine militia. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this helped you. And I'm not condoning illegal narcotic, illegal drug, illegal whatever the fuck we call them nowadays, of any kind. But if people are doing it, I just want people to make the right educated choice and hopefully not make that choice at all. But if you do, weigh all options, see a doctor, and make sure if you're on, get blood work done every 6 months. And I recommend even if you're a natural athlete to make sure everything's perfect going in every year for blood work. I'm Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, because being healthy, not dying, and getting huge, that's not a game.